hello. Hello. Stevie Coyle here, Mighty Fine Guitars, Lafayette, California. Friday noontime-ish webcast, people in the shop. It's like clockwork. Murphy's Law. When it kicks in hard. And when you have a Friday noontime show scheduled, people show up to shop guitars at Friday at noontime. Don't know how that calculus works. Today, I had hoped to feature Furch guitars for you. Sounds like a dirty word, but it's not. F-U-R-C-H, Furch guitars, made in Czechoslovakia. They'll be coming in tomorrow morning. There's a couple of them the gentleman wants to consign here. And I'm not familiar with Furch guitars. I've heard all about them. Kind of a mid-level, fairly economical guitar, popular with young fingerstylers, I'm told, by experts who know. Oh, let me check and sorry, excuse me. Coming through. There we go. Yep, looks like things are happening. Good. Let me keep an eye on comments as they come in. Hi there, all three of you. Come on in. Stevie Coyle here, Mighty Fine Guitars, Lafayette, California, Friday Noontime Webcast. Today's feature is a guitar, not the Furches, that I hope you... I have to go to confession now for a near occasion of sin. Not those guitars, but a Breedlove guitar that has just been in the shop languishing for too long. This is it. It's quite remarkable. It's a handmade Breedlove. Breedlove, it's kind of hard to know because Breedlove and Bedell, the flow chart is pretty Byzantine, and you never know what things are. This is when Breedloves were made by Breedlove in Tumalo, Oregon. And this very guitar I fell in love with when it was at Griffin Stringed Instruments in 2001, which is like 10 years ago now. It's a wonderful guitar, and I fell in love with it then. And the strange part of the story is that when I was talking to a gentleman I know who has lots and lots of guitars, he had FOMO. He admits having had a bad case of FOMO, fear of missing out, so he bought everything he saw because he could. And why not if you can? And then he realized, wait a minute, I only play about a dozen of these 250 guitars, so I'll start selling them off. So he said, come on over and take a look. So I was over there, we're kind of working on the database and taking a look at some of his guitars and, you know, a fraction of them. And he said, what do you think about Breedlove guitars? And I said, you know, Breedloves are terrific. If I was going to carry a line of guitars here at Mighty Fine Guitars, it'd be Breedlove. I'm not going to carry a line of guitars. But if I were to carry a line, it'd be Breedlove. I think they're terrific. They're beautifully made. They all sound great. They're just kind of made by angels. You know, everything's Nat's ass perfect. He said, what made you fall in love with Breedlove guitars? I said, well, you know, there was one at Griffin years ago that had a spider inlaid on the fingerboard. And he said, oh, you mean this one? And he pulled it out of a rack, and I said, yeah, that one. He said, yeah, I bought this from Griffin all those years ago. And this is a one-off guitar. This is no kind of model. This is the CM body style, the CM Z for zizicote, because of that. Make sure I get you a good picture of this. I'm looking at the monitor here. Yeah, you can kind of see that. Zizicote on the back and sides. On the top, bearclaw Sitka. Fantastically beautiful guitar. The neck is maple. Binding is bloodwood. Ebony and fingerboard. The fingerboard and bridge are ebony, as is the faceplate. I still love the sound of this thing. Where's my thumb pick? Come on in, everybody. Stevie Coyle here, Mighty Fine Guitars, Friday Noontime Webcast, featuring a Breedlove CM Z that just happens to be in the shop. It has happened to be in the shop for too long. We got to move it out. Somebody's got to be playing this thing. It's just too wonderful not to play. It's got kind of a ooh sort of sound to it. Some guitars, especially in the treble realms, have kind of an E or an ah, kind of a flat vowel sound, ah, E. This one kind of goes ooh. Ooh. Do you hear it? One on 11/16 across the nut here. The scale on this is 25/4. Kind of standard long scale. Oh, hello, people are coming in. Hey, Vincey, how are you, man? Yeah, Bob, very nice guitar indeed. Bill Douglas is here. Larry Pattis is here. Hello there. Hi, Christian Muller. Hi, all of you Wawonans and Yosemiteans. Come on in. Tell your friends. Feel free to post this. Feel free to share this. Sharing this little post can be done either now or later. So if you've got any like-minded souls you think would enjoy checking out Guitars on Fridays, feel free to pass them along these Friday noontime webcasts. So, with all that in mind, the fellow said, well, here, why don't you take this one? There's another one I have in the shop that's the same body style, but has individual saddles for the pickup, and you can send it out MIDI style. Similar body shape. Perhaps I'll feature that next week. Now, the reason, I didn't get around to the reason why this is called the Black Widow. This was the one-off. There's a big guitar show, music show, in a couple of places in the country a couple of times a year called the NAMM show, the National Association of Music Merchandisers. And this was their show-off guitar. This is the one that was out at the front of the Breedlove booth, hanging up real pretty with sexy lights on it and the whole schmear. And the reason it has a, get my hand out of the way, a Black Widow engraved here is because on the back, that inlay is echoed by this. Can you see it? This is going to be a little trickier to get you to see this. There's the figure of a spider down low here. Kind of comes down, gets pinched right here. There's the waist of the spider, and it flares out again. Kind of tricky. Zizicote wood, which is very hard, and the Sitka top, bearclaw Sitka, also nice and hard. You can make it very thin, nice and resonant. A beautifully balanced guitar. Lots of fine binding work here. Purfling is lovely. Abalone, bloodwood on the trim. And it's been in the shop too long. Somebody come get it. It's on sale. It was on sale here. It was for sale here for $6,750 for a long, long time. And now that price has come down to $5,500. There might be even a little more wiggle room in that. I could ask if anyone's real interested. I'm thinking this would be a great recording guitar. It's all very even. Articulation is really clear. From there. Who am I kidding? For you thumb around folks, nice narrow fingerboard here, 1 11/16. Plenty of room to get your thumb over there. Some folks, I hadn't even realized until I saw somebody doing it here in the shop. I've been playing thumb over for years and years. David Lindley told me to do that. He was one of the kids that lived next door. They rehearsed next door to me in Southern California while he was playing at Disneyland in various bands. And my brother and I took our cheap old little guitars next door, Stella guitars with the sprayed-on position markers, sprayed-on sunburst. Pretty awful, but we loved them. And we took them next door and we said, Davey, we can play our C chord in Go Tell Aunt Rhody and our G7 chord in Go Tell Aunt Rhody, but that F chord, pretty hard to play. I said, ooh, boy. He looked at the string height. He said, like this, you're not going to be able to play a nice polite F chord with a bar and all that stuff. He said, you're going to have to try and use your thumb over the top. Now, I've been doing thumb over for years and years. And here's a little rap on thumbing over on the guitar. So many people, there was a couple of nice folks in here yesterday, folks saying, we're still working on our bar chords. Yeah, if you're strumming, you probably need bar chords quite a lot. For fingerstyle, though, arguably less so. And I'll just qualify that by this one observation, that there are certain songs that can't be played without the thumb working the low string, or the thumb coming over the top in an E-shaped chord. Let's say you're doing the E-shaped G chord, that one right there. My whole hand is tied up in that G chord. If I'm fingerstyling, perhaps I'm not playing all 6 strings anyway, and all fingers are tied up, I can't do any cool little variations, which are the heart and soul of what most people, whether or not they know it, are listening for the variations. They heard you play through the first verse and chorus, then coming into that second verse, the second chorus, wherever, they're looking for something a little different. And if you provide something even just a little different, that satisfies the part of their brain that says, I caught him, her, them doing, did I get all the pronouns? Doing something different. I'm so smart, I'm going to give myself a little shot of joy juice in my brain for having caught them doing something different, doing variations. So if you're not doing variations the second or third time through, just as a general principle, then you're not tripping that little switch in the middle of their brains that says, oh, this person's good. But all of which is to say, if you play your ostensible E-shaped bar chords with your thumb over instead, and if you're doing fingerstyle, chances are you're doing like a 6/4 alternation with this hand. That means you can free up your pinky to do cool stuff with. Whereas if your hand is tied up doing this, you're kind of stuck. Screed over. Pontification mode off. Like that. Let me check and see for questions and comments. Yes, very good, Larry Pattis. Thank you. CM stands for Concert Myers, body designed by Terry Myers, who's never really an office member, an official member of the Breedlove team. Odd story, isn't it? Back in 1990. Right-o. Official, of course. There you go. There we go. The shape and design is cool. Now, there's some coolness going on inside here as well. Instead of having fairly standard X bracing, this has got the bridge doctor inside there, which is essentially kind of a stick coming through this way up towards the middle of the lower bout here, and then another stick coming up to support the bridge from underneath, which really frees up the top. And you can kind of tune that top by making adjustments to a screw sort of assembly inside there. You can sort of tune the top to certain notes. So if you're a dad-gad guy, as I see we have at least one, alternate tuning sort of stuff, you sort of tune the guitar to that resonant, to a resonant frequency. Wow, 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 wow. Did you hear that? Well, this is, I won't hold you up any longer. This is for sale, is what it is. This is for sale right here at Mighty Fine Guitars. It's been here for quite a while. So even though the price has been taken down once from $6,750 to $5,500 American dollars USD, there's perhaps even more flex in this, and somebody should be playing, or at least displaying, this beautiful Breedlove guitar from 2001. Maple neck, gorgeous. Lots of cool abalone binding, purfling. Sound hole as well. Rosetta's shell. Gorgeous. And this big old Black Widow here on the fingerboard to echo. Oh, She went off. Stop. She's not Alexa. She's the other word. To echo this spider in the grain of the zizicote on the back of the guitar. Breedlove CM Z. And thank you for the update. I'd forgotten all about that, Larry Pattis. That's great to know about the source of the terminology. Come on by. If you're anywhere in the Bay Area, stop by and make it part of a Bermuda Triangle. Some people do a Bermuda Triangle, which is to say they stop here and at Eric Schoenberg's shop and at Griffin in the immediate kind of Bay Area. There's some other great shops out in the periphery, but those are kind of the three that you can hit in a day and play tons and tons of really great guitars. There are several here at Mighty Fine Guitars. Let me give you a tiny spin around here. Just behind me here is the wall of small. Kind of behind the post there is the big guys. That's kind of the dreadnoughts and jumbos and whatnot. I never do this. I should. Well, these are kind of the 000 OM size guitars for the most part. Can I crank it all the way around without blasting out the visuals? There we go. Over in the corner there is the Gibson and Martin quadrant, and there's all kinds of cool Martins over there in particular. A couple of cool Gibsons, a J50 and an L200, but all kinds of dreadnoughts. There's a D35 and 4 D28s. And on the carousel there is stuff that just didn't fit elsewhere, the odds and sods. So come on in to Mighty Fine Guitars. It's in Lafayette, California. It's one of those towns you drive through on your way to other places. It's just through the Caldecott Tunnel. It's the second town on your right, pretty much. As you drive through the Caldecott Tunnel, headed east. Most people aren't going to know what the hell I'm talking about here, so I'll stop talking about that. But do stop by. Anybody can stop by mightyfineguitars.com and check things out. I'm updating the thing. There's a couple of guitars that are going to be going up there. The Froggy Bottom, which is still here, strangely. Come and get it. Get me out of... I'm in harm's way here, folks. Do it for your old pal Stevie. This guitar has been tempting me every day for years now. So help get me out of harm's way. Come buy some guitars at mightyfineguitars.com or stop in and play them anyway, because there's a lot of cool stuff here. Even if you're not necessarily in total buying mode, stop in. It's like a lending library. It's sort of like a library where you can get hip to some of the newer builders, some of the old vintage stuff, just to kind of increase your guitaristic vocabulary. I just coined a new term. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. If there are other comments or questions, stack them up down below here, and I will get to them pronto. I'll be bouncing this over to the Mighty Fine Guitars Facebook page, then to Instagram, and then to the Stevie Coyle Music YouTube channel. So find me one place or the other. There's lots and lots of guitar videos from years and years, and some of those guitars are still here. So come and get them. Stevie Coyle here, signing off. Thanks for tuning in, Facebookers. Talk to you soon. Oh, and YouTubers and Instagrammers as well. Down the road.